Si va a llover, que llueva. Lo que no quiero es chin chin.
No quiero chin chin. Si va a llover, que llueva. No quiero chin chin.
Déjate de cuento, no quiero más hablarte. Deja la bobera que lo mío sí arte. No te tires, chicho, yo tengo la maldad. Tu pistola vieja ya no tira nada. Deja la mentira, tú vives del invento. Lo tuyo es un chinchín que se lo lleve el viento. Me tomo lo que llueva y me como un rayo. Lo mío sí no es cuento, yo soy un caballo.
No quiero chin chin. Si va a llover, que llueva. No quiero chin chin.
No abuses de chiquito que Dios está mirando. Si te pasan la cuenta te veré pagando. Eso es lo que hay, yo tengo la verdad. Eso es lo que traje, para ti no hay nada. Mira para el espejo, dime.
Hello everyone to another edition of Casa Cuba Sundays with Michy. I am broadcasting live from Casa Cuba Studios, aka my house. It is a whopping 19 degrees outside here in Orange County, New York. And yeah, it's kind of scary out there today. So here we are at home. We have a very special guest. He just celebrated his 10-year anniversary with his own cigar shop. We have Mr. Jay Davis from Blue Smoke of Dallas. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Very good. I was quite an opening, by the way. Yeah, you must have upgraded since the first time. That was awesome.
Thank you. I love this. Jose put together this whole beautiful montage with the dominoes, the cigars, and a nice little. And we happen to really like this song from Arturo Sandoval. It's very lively and uppity, and you know how we all feel about Arturo Sandoval, so sending him much love as well. We're hoping to one day get him on the show as well.
He's an amazing individual. Better opening than Meet the Professor. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you're allowed to say whatever you want.
Arturo's an amazing individual. I've had the privilege to smoke a cigar with him a couple of times. He's awesome.
Sweetie, we have a special guest.
Wow.
Hello.
Cynthia.
Hi. Hello, Michy.
Hi,
Happy
sweetie.
Casa Cuba Sunday.
Happy Casa Cuba Sunday.
Jay Davis. I had to come on and say hello. I wanted to come on and say hello.
It's so
How
good
are
to
you,
see you.
friend?
I'm doing good. I've got past my jitter, so I'm ready to go now.
Yes. Okay. Good. Good. And I see you have my brother with you. I'm glad to see that he's with you. I have him with me as well. What color do you have? I can't see it.
It's he's red.
Oh, the red. Oh, so you have the red one. That's
Andrea suggested that I bring him out. I think when they first released these, that only retailers got red.
Oh yeah, the red was the most difficult to find. Yeah, the
I have
most
a pink
limited.
one at work, but I don't want to take it out of the wrapping because it's like mint.
I agree. I agree. In fact, Arlene from California, God bless her, she sent me the pink one during the, when we're raising the money with Liana for the breast cancer awareness. And so she actually sent me one of the pink ones. So I have it in my office. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to take it out of the box because I don't want anything to happen to it. But you have to display them. That's what it is. That's what they're for. But I wanted to just say hello. I see you, and I've been so grateful how much you have support. Well, you've always supported us, and you've always been loyal to Fuente and to our foundation, you and your beautiful family. But I mean, through this whole pandemic this past year, every time I'm on a podcast, I always see your name, and I'm like, there he is. And I see Michy. I'm like, okay, they're with me. So it's so nice and refreshing to see my friends, sisters, and brothers of the leaf right by us.
Well, thank you very much. You're obviously, you're the one that started it. You're the first person that told me about the Cigar Family Foundation, and it's a big deal. In fact, we wrote some checks today from our event. We donated money to the Cigar Family Charitable Foundation and also some money to Southeastern Guide Dogs, which Bobby really turned me on to that.
Of course. My God, Bobby does so much for that organization, and we've done a lot of events together. And that's a wonderful organization as well. But I seen that you had a great event. I seen all the cigars you had. I seen that David Wayne and Daniel Caldwell were there. That's fantastic.
It was great. We had a lot of people come from out of town. Eric came in from Napa Valley for a couple hours.
Oh my gosh.
Eric's never been to my store. It was awesome.
Oh, that is fabulous. Well, congratulations as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That must have been wonderful having them there.
It was an unexpected treat. He called me. He had a friend that he was going to Fredericksburg with, and he calls me up on Wednesday and says, how far away is Dallas? So he added a flight, a little leg to his flight to come up and see me. And then Brian came up, and we hung out for a couple hours, and they went out to dinner. It
Brian,
was great.
Well, you get to see Brian more, right? I would imagine.
No, actually, I was joking with Brian. Since, he's living in Dallas now, I see him less than when he lived in Napa.
When he was in Napa?
Yeah, when he lived in Napa, he'd come in for business all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like in love, and he just.
I know.
So I actually see him less now that he lives in Dallas. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I sent him a little love for Christmas. I always usually send him a box of cigars or what have you. So he texted me and said, have you forgot your sister C? Because he's my brother B. I'm like, hello, we're still here.
He looks great.
I missed being in Napa last September because Michy, we go every September for Crush season, and it's so wonderful. Brian Shinnick always has a Crush party, and we've done this for a few years with Andy and Marissa. It's a wonderful time.
So what is a Crush party?
Yeah. Yes. Well, you like wine, and you can learn so much more about the wines if you're this year. Hopefully they're going to have it this year.
Well, he's talking about having it in Athens, Texas. I'm like, no, we have to go back to Napa.
Oh, well, are there wineries in that part of Texas? I don't know.
There are, but I think he wants to do sort of like a little boat cruise type thing. Maybe secrets. But I love it. I don't really know what a Crush party is, Michy, except that time of the year, and is usually the first or second weekend of September.
Yeah, like the second
week. They start to take the grapes out, and they start crushing them, getting them ready to put in the barrels. And Brian has always, since ever I've known Brian, I met Brian in 2010. He's been doing Crush parties for, I don't know, 20 some years.
Oh, I think he's done it. Yes, I've only been for probably like the last 6 years, but he's done them for many, many, many years.
When you said Crush party, I had a picture in my head of an episode of I Love Lucy where they have.
Oh yeah, yes, exactly, yes. Well, he has a theme every year, and one year when Christina, my daughter, was able to go because she loves I Love Lucy, and so the theme was I Love Lucy. So everybody was dressed up like Lucille Ball, and Ricky Ricardo was fabulous, and they had a big, like a white big, whatever it was, filled with grapes, and everybody was in the grapes. It was great. And then we did all different wineries, and then we eat a lot of great Mexican food, all the little stands. It's a wonderful time, and there's a lot of cigar lovers, people from our community, and then also people from the wine industry. So it's really a good time. But, well, I'm glad that everything went wonderful with your event. Congratulations. I love your gear. I thank you for the hat and the shirt. You're always representing.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything so much you do for Fuente, for our foundation, for everything. So when Michy said that she was going to have you on the show, I said, perfect. One day you got to come and meet the professor too.
Yes.
Oh boy. I was nervous enough to come out here. I don't know.
Well, I told him it's all good. All it is smoking and having great conversation.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And I do love the entrance to meet the professor, but I have to tell you, I love Michy's and Jose's entrance to Casa Cuba Sunday. It is fabulous. And with the music, I mean, come on, please. It's like number one. Y'all did a fabulous job with that.
Yeah, that's all Jose. He's the mastermind behind all that.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what it is. Y'all are a team. You're partners, and it shows. And he's your producer. You could not have this podcast without a good producer, darling.
Exactly.
Right?
So when he doesn't feel well, I'll be like, I try to be like, you sure you can do this? Because if you can't, our viewers will understand. But he trips it out and he sits there comfortably with his headset on
and he's doing it. Well, Jose and I are a little under the weather because we both had a dental procedure, so neither one of us are smoking. So I'm holding my beautiful between the line. But like Melanie and I were talking about Friday on our Fuente Fridays, that when you're not able to smoke a cigar, you can go a year without smoking a cigar. It's okay. Yeah. We smoke cigars because we enjoy the company of our cigar, the flavor of our cigar, sharing it with somebody. But it's a totally different world, like people that smoke cigarettes or other, products, that they're addicted to it or they have to have it. Mm-hmm. But for us, I still enjoy looking at it, and I miss the experience of smoking, especially like today, a moment like this. But that I have to smoke it, no. And I'm sure Jose feels the same way.
Oh yeah, no. He sat next to me in the Zoom cigar when we were in the Zoom cigar bar. He's like,
he did?
I'm getting contact. He's like,
a little bit, right? And then it's like the simple things that you miss. It's because it's like the sharing with one another when you're enjoying your cigar. So, okay.
Yeah. So thank God he's feeling much better, and you look like you're doing well. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, I do. Every day a little bit better. Yeah, every day a little bit better. And I'll definitely be ready to smoke. Andy says when he had a procedure, he was smoking after a week. I'm like, Andy, serious? Are you? But he's a bear. I'm like, I'm following the rules. Like I'm following the rules with this whole.
I'm the same way. I had a tooth pulled once, and that same day they were like, "Oh, just eat some." Jose, and I told Jose, I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. He took me to TGI Fridays, and that was it. I was like, I'm fine.
Really? Good for you.
Like, I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Shout out to our viewers. I see that Berta is on. I see Cynthia Gonzalez. I see Kurt on.
Oh, beautiful. Good.
Shout out to Kurt.
Oh, hi, Kurt. Beth, Cynthia, beautiful. We had the Sisters of the Leaf, Greece, the third round table this Thursday, and both Cynthia Gonzalez and Beta Bravo were on it. It was so wonderful. Anastasia, they did such a beautiful job with that. And it was so nice to be with like 30 other ladies from around the globe. We've met so many wonderful people this year. It's been great. That's like I'm saying, Jay, every time when I'm on the computer, I always say, I love it. You're always right there. We're always with the comments. So we're together. We're alone, but we're together.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a fun year for that. And we've seen a lot more ladies at our shop. Just last night, we had these two gentlemen came in and they're like, well, we're going to have some friends. And when all things were said and done, there were like 4 guys and 6 ladies. And they were smoking and had a great time. And when it was time for closing, they're like, thank you so much. This is our first time here. We can't wait to come back. And they had a great time.
That's wonderful. Well, that's fantastic to hear. I know everybody's ready to get back into those days.
Oh, absolutely. Like we had to talk. I'm like, well, we can't really have 15 people back here like normal. Let's try to keep it around 8. And he's like, well, it's going to be 9, maybe 10. I'm like, okay, I'll make sure everybody stays away. And they had a great time of fellowship, and they all had these margaritas. They brought this big old jug of margaritas because we don't have a bar. It's bring your own.
Okay, all right. Okay.
They were smoking cigars and drinking margaritas, and they had a great time.
That's wonderful. That's fantastic. So you're not 100% open. To what capacity are you open?
I think technically we're at 50%.
Okay.
But our store is rated for 56 people, but you don't really want to have 28 people in the store. So we're limited in it right now to 7 in the front and 8 in the back. So about 15. We probably were a little above that when we had our event on Friday, but we try really hard to, we don't want anyone to get sick. And
no, of course not. Safety is the most important. And everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But you were celebrating, a special moment, and it's wonderful that everybody was there to support you.
Hopefully
was. I know that we were going to do a dinner. I think it was last year. Sometime we weren't able to coordinate it. So once we get back, we'll definitely have to do something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
You have to join me, and we'll go.
I know Tony wants us to raise money for that project, so I don't want to disappoint Tony.
Without, oh, I know, of course. And we have, in March will be a year that we haven't been actually to Chateau de la Fuente or to the school and so forth. So we're ready. Everybody's ready to go back.
Speaking of someone great to have him meet the professor, Tony Cattengale. Wow.
He was on, yeah. He was on. Earlier on.
Well, we need him again because it was amazing the first time. I want to hear him again.
Yeah, we need to get him again. Absolutely.
I love his story.
Because he has so much to share. He's been with us since 1998. We've been together since, the very first CFC that was in Tampa.
Wow.
And he used to enter the chat rooms like now we do. I mean, way back then, we used to have one with the Cigar Family people, the lovers. So he started that. Well, he didn't actually start it, but he was one of the people at the beginning. So Tony's been with us for many years, and he usually always logs on too. I mean, he's definitely a big supporter.
Yeah, speaking of the crush parties, that's where I got to meet a lot of people, or people that I thought I would just meet in the Dominican, like Joe Fagundes or Alfords or Tony Cattengale. So many people. Eric, who owns Napa Cigars. So many wonderful people that you meet up there, and Brian's such a great host.
I know. We honestly, between the wine industry and the cigar industry, or both communities, we've met so many wonderful people. So many. For this holiday season, I received a beautiful Camus. You'll appreciate this. A select, special select 2009 from Chuck Wagner and Eddie. I was very delighted and very pleased. Yes. Yeah. Today I brought out my Pappy Van Winkle 15, Michy. You appreciate this. For since we had Eric and Jordan on Meet the Professors from Cigar Dojo, that was a celebration. This is like a celebratory. I just bring this out I have a little taste on really special moments. We're so honored to have them on Meet the Professors.
I'm having Moscato Providencia di Pavia from Italia.
Oh, very nice. Very good. Oh,
yeah, like Moscatos.
Yes, I know you do. I know. And I have some, girl, when you come to Tampa, and we're able to share, plenty here.
We definitely have to do a wine testing because this palate needs to explore.
We can definitely take care of that. I seen Tony just join. COVID hair. Oh my God. Tony, show us a picture of you. He's got long hair. Tony let his hair grow.
Really?
Yes. Tony's hair is really long now. I haven't seen.
Do you smoke infused cigars at all?
The what now?
I was asking Michy if she liked infused cigars.
I did. That's how I started.
Well, I'm gonna break you in, and I'm gonna send you a couple old cigars I have that are infused with Moscato. One.
No way.
It was a company that sort of has come and gone, and we still have some left. And what I always tell customers is, I personally don't like this cigar, but they're made in Rocky's factory, and if you like Moscato wine, you'll enjoy the cigars. And now they've got 5 or 6 years of age on them.
Wow.
So I'll take a couple.
Jay's known to have very aged cigars. Between him and James Smith, y'all have a lot of aged cigars, and they share. Because like I always say, cigars are to be shared, and you always share. Okay, let's reminisce a little bit for Fuente Mania. Okay, before I log off and leave the show to you guys. How about Fuente Mania? How much fun do we have in Philadelphia for Fuente Mania?
Wow.
Right? That's a celebration that we do every either September, October. The Fuente family with the Levine family at Holt's and at Ashton's in downtown at the Ashton Cigar Lounge upstairs, which is absolutely beautiful. And all of us get together, and it's so great. I mean, like, it's 3 days of nonstop work with hundreds and hundreds of people, but it's worth every second. And then the last day or the last night, we get to enjoy the Ashton Cigar Bar and then relax. How about it, Jay?
I can still remember walking back to the hotel at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Can you actually remember? LOL. I'm kidding. Us with our bourbons.
Yeah, Mira and Satya, it's just such wonderful hosts, and
they are.
That was an amazing weekend. I'd never been to Fuente Mania before. Tom Curtella was able to get me into the member lounge the first day, and It was just a magical weekend. What else can you say? It was wonderful.
Right? A magical weekend. That's a good way to put it. There's so many people. Well, Michy, you've been.
Not there. No, we
Not
were
to that
actually
one? Okay, all right.
we were looking forward to it, but obviously, COVID.
Yeah. Well, it was going to be this past September or October. We would have had it in October. We used to have it in September, but it would be the 10th anniversary. We were going to celebrate our 10th anniversary. And Satya, who turned 40, and Leon, who turned 40 in 2020. So there was tons of celebration.
Wow.
Yes, I know. Tony, just check your Facebook messaging. Okay, he's going to send me a picture of his hair. Yes. But there's so many events that we do throughout the year that everybody has missed. As far as in person, everybody has missed it. And again, alone but together, because we have this and we are making the best of it. That's for sure.
Well, the one I've never been to that I really want to try to make to next time is the cigars and cars in Detroit. I've never been to that.
Oh,
That amazing.
Another. Oh, that is fabulous. They have about 1,400 people, and it is in their arena there. And Tom and Dario do an incredible job, and they have their own charity that they feed. I don't know how many thousands on end people and during Thanksgiving holiday. And then they give to our foundation. So it goes to both charities. And that is an incredible, music and the food, the cigars, the wine, Tom's wine. It's an incredible time. It really is. That's another one. When we get back to normal, Michy, you're gonna be joining us for all these great.
I have to. I've been dying, I'm trying to Jose and I, because Jose has been. I know Franklin from Tomacao Cigars.
Yeah.
He would always talk about this cigar and cars event. And he would come back.
Yes.
So,
Gosh.
It was definitely on our bucket list of one of
That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, Franklin rolls the cigars. So for the first evening when Tom and Vicky and Darian, they host like a nice gathering at their home, which is so beautiful. And Franklin's there rolling the cigars for everybody. And then during the event, the main event, he's rolling all day. And then he sells the cigars that he makes. And then every dollar goes to the foundation. Every dollar goes to him. And so I help him out. Like I'll get there super early and I network and everybody, all these 1,400 people that come in, and I'll greet everybody. Then I go and I help Franklin. So he takes the bunch and then he lays the outside wrapper because it would take forever to do the whole complete cigar. So he already makes a bunch. So we are just we're a team. And so he's like, okay, Cynthia, I need 5 seconds just to breathe. I said, nope, you don't need, breathe later. Keep on, because the people are standing there and they want to buy them. I think he sells them for $20 a piece and they're so grateful. And like I said, every penny goes to the charity. And so I'm like, don't worry, but keep on going. He goes, okay. And he'll take a breather. My hands, I can't, nope, your hands are fine. Keep on. And he's such a sport. We have such a good time. And he rolls phenomenal cigars. Well, he rode at Tabacalera Fuente. He was with us for more than 14 years there at our factory. We've seen him since a kid grow up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Another thing on our bucket list to go to is to Blue Smoke.
That's another one.
I
have you
make it there.
I agree. Blue Smoke. There's a lot. And then, of course, the cigar aficionado Big Smokes, the one in Vegas and the one in Miami.
Yeah.
They were going to have the Whiskey Fest. I think they said it's going to be now in October.
Yeah.
So look at all these things that we do. We're always nonstop traveling.
Yeah, we're good for the airlines.
We are really good for the airline. We're good for the cigar lounges. The what?
I'm gonna have to get me a credit card that gives airline miles.
You better believe it, because you can utilize them. That's for sure. I know, but it's okay. We're gonna get there. This is just temporary.
We'll have to do at least one more CFC in the Dominican, get everybody down. And I don't know how you can do it because there's not enough room, but that life-changing. My older brother, who, trying to think of a polite way to say this, he's very conservative with his money. And I took him down to the chateau. We went for Pro Cigar. I think it was in 2015.
Okay.
And my older brother just started crying. I mean, I hadn't seen him cry since we went to my dad's funeral. And anytime and every time that we're doing something for the foundation, he's like, hey, let me write a check. Let me buy 10 toast packets. Let me do this. Let me do it. It changed his life. Just seeing the kids and seeing the classrooms, it has an impact on people that's just incredible.
That's beautiful.
Impact.
That is so beautiful. I know that you've really, really been a big supporter of our foundation, and we're forever grateful. And it's true what you say, Jay. When you go and you're able to see in person, because you can see it in videos and it's still so touching, but when you're able to see those children and they are so happy and they're so humble, they have so little, but they have so much. And they're so grateful for the opportunities that they have because of people like you, because of both of you, because anybody that
grow up too.
Foundation.
Like I just got a message the other day from Amparo, and I remember when she was a student.
Yeah.
She runs
Oh my gosh.
the lab, and she's got a baby, and I mean,
right?
You see them as students, you come back, and they're there giving back at the school. That's just more than enough reward when you see the impact in people's lives.
And many of them get back. Many of them go and work there at the school after they've graduated from college, and they want to build that community, and it's growing so much. Since we started there, it's grown so. And then Dr. Gugino, Jack Gugino, he lives in Tampa. He's an eye surgeon. He's been very involved working with Bobby Newman, and we have a whole vision program.
Oh,
So at this time of the year, Berkeley High School goes and with the Newmans, and we're there, and so they check everybody's eyes throughout all those communities, all the children's, and then make glasses for all the people that need it. So we're planning, like we've been doing this for years, especially Bobby's been very, very involved, but we have a lot of new plans. Dr. Gugino's really helping us with a lot of new equipment. So for the clinic, for the eye vision, so everybody puts a part, and it's really grown so much. So we are going to plan something. We want to have another reunion of the Cigar family gathering. We need to do that. We have so much fun together.
So much fun.
Oh my gosh. The last time we were together, when was it, Jay? Was it like 2 years ago when you were there? When you and Andrea were there?
You and I were together at graduation in 2018, but then I think I saw you in Napa in 2019.
No. But when we were there, that you made that beautiful video, and then we were in Puerto Plata.
Yeah, when we did the retailer convention.
Yes.
2018. That was just amazing. You know, Angela came in and Franklin came in.
That's right. Franklin and Angela was the first time that year.
That was just mind blowing.
That's right. Well, let me tell you, that's the first time that Angela, you had ever gone. And again, a classic example, like you said, with your brother, it changed her life. And she's never been the same since then. She's such a giving individual, and she has been supporting our foundation beyond since she went and seen it in person. She certainly did. And I remember seeing your wife. Oh, there's my brother. Hello there. Seeing your wife on the dance floor. All of us were tearing up that dance floor on the last night. Loved it. Hello, brother.
Hey, happy anniversary, Jay. You know,
yes.
I've been listening to the show from a distance, but I've been trying to figure this out because I'm traveling and I can't, and I was on Meet the Professor earlier, and they were enjoying cigars, Eric and Jordan, and I was going crazy. I was indoors, so I'm sitting on my suitcase, and I'm out. I found the balcony, and I'm sitting in a suitcase so I can light my cigar. So
my God, that view is beautiful.
That view, oh my goodness.
That
I'm
is
in a hotel,
beautiful.
but it's good. Yeah,
that's outside of Miami.
Yes.
That's
I'm
outside
traveling
of
back to DR. I'm at a hotel. No, I'm at a hotel. But anyway,
okay.
I just want to say happy anniversary. I've been following the great event that you had, and I see that. And this entire week, you stole the show on social media. Everybody's
Yes.
complimenting you, wishing you, man, you really, everybody just loves you so much. And you've heard that over many, many years, you know, just being such a special human being, friend to Cigar Family, a foundation that belongs to all of us, to everybody who's, you know, everybody who has contributed or a smile or a hug to some of the children who's visited us. It's, you know, it's our home, it's our foundation. And from the very beginning, and one of the comments that I made that I believe in my heart, you are a true example of what Cigar Family is. And if there's any way that I could compliment you, I think it's by saying that Cigar Family is about giving back, it's about sharing, it's about, you know, enjoying the greater things in life, being there for a friend when a friend is in need, and just spreading the love. And you are really, you're a model to follow. So I congratulate you. 10 years after a very, very successful career, you said, I had enough. I want to do what I love, have my own little place, share the love, and enjoy the leaf. And you've done just that. And my congratulations to you and your family, to all of you.
Well, thank you. I still remember the first time that I went to the Chateau in 2014, and we were out there where the kids are holding the flags. And Eric Newman pointed out, he says, it says Cigar Family. It doesn't say Fuente. It doesn't say Newman. He goes, now members of Cigar Family, this is your responsibility too. And that hit me when he said that. And I took it seriously. You know, from when Cynthia and Berta first told me about Cigar Family, and then Eric just sort of brought it home for me.
I remember that first conversation.
You mentioned,
I remember that.
You mentioned another sister. You know, I see my sister, Cynthia, which I'm so proud of and everything, that she's been so active and everything. And I really like to see, this is the Cynthia that I grew up with.
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
I remember.
I'm
a little jealous though.
Thank you. I
Pappy
love
Van Winkle, which I never tried.
Really?
I haven't seen much of my sister this year, unfortunately. We've been all locked down, and she's been very taking care of herself. Supposedly, I always see all these photos on in Facebook and this and that. And I said, Cynthia, she goes, no, that photo's 2 years ago. I haven't left my house. You know, I'm taking care of myself. So
it's really the truth.
Yeah.
People say, my God, if you look, it's a throwback, it's a flashback Friday, a throwback Thursday. I mean, besides the factory, the warehouse.
The honest truth, it's almost impossible to tie Cynthia and I down. We're party animals at heart, man. We are.
It has been challenging.
But at least we have this new cigar bar where we can let loose a little bit too. That helps.
Oh, no,
that's
for
exactly
sure.
What I'm
and
doing
honestly,
now.
like I say, if I haven't been with you in person, my heart has been with you all year. Because I really feel it. I have missed everything, but I reminisce on those pictures. And then I it's like a flashback or a throwback Thursday, because sometimes I just go back and see all the beautiful events that we've had. Like we were talking about, Calito, Fuente Mania, cigars and cards and so forth, and getting together with all of these people, how much we miss it, and we're looking forward to it. But yes, I'm grateful that we have
our life. But I just want to say
technology.
You know what? But you know what? The highlight of 2020. I've seen this coming, and my heart has been there for so many years. And Cynthia, you're probably that's why you're called the First Lady of Cigars, because you have been there from the very beginning. There were no ladies in the industry.
And
over the many, many years, we say it's the women. The strength are the women behind the cigars. It's the women. You know that, I know that. And to see so many women active now, you know, publicly enjoying cigars and all that, you know, it's finally come to fruition. It's a dream that I've had for women to be able to enjoy cigars side by side with their friends, side by side with men. I see it. And I congratulate you, Michy, for being so active and everything. All the Sisters of the Leaf and the program you had this week with Sisters of the Leaf worldwide, you know, coming together and everything and promoting the strength of the woman and what they contribute to our world of cigars, which to me is something that I've always believed in. I always promoted, I always wanted. but I see it coming to fruition, and I'm just so happy. I think it's one of the highlights of 2020, which
I agree,
in a
100%.
sad way, is COVID has something to do with this. Being isolated is giving opportunities for people. I never got behind a cell phone or behind a computer, never to this year. And I didn't even own a laptop until headquarters, Karen Smith sent me a laptop, said, you better learn how to use
You
it.
need this.
Because we need to communicate with your teams. Because you know what? No, it's actually told me this thing about where is Carlito. We're starting to believe that nobody could ever find you. So, you know, well, we have a meeting, you got to find you. So it started. And that's how it started, but it's been a great year. And Jay, congratulations again, my brother.
Thank you very much. I was on a show. I was listening to a show. I think it was Bear or Coop. I can't remember.
Yes, I listened to them both.
And they were asking Abe who was the cigar person of the year in 2020. And Abe, he's like, the first person that comes to mind is Carlito Fuente. He goes, because nobody really knew Carlito before 2020. And the way that he's really pushed himself to become so immersed with social media and to get to know people, it was quite a compliment coming from somebody who's another mentor of mine in the business.
Yes, I agree. Yes. I wasn't aware of that, but I'm astonished that he would mention me. But that's very nice of him. Yeah, I didn't say.
William and Bear,
especially from someone, yeah.
But like Jose Blanco says, that. Doing the podcast that we've been doing this year, Jeremiah and Jose, Carlito, myself, and all of us, that normally when we're at events, it's a wonderful experience. It's just a different type of experience. Whereas here, we're able to get to know people more on a one-to-one. And it really, and I feel that people have been able to get to know us more as people outside of like events and so forth. And I believe, and we've enjoyed it. We've been able to get to know everybody on a more individual basis. If that makes sense, if you can appreciate that. Just
I think that makes a big difference.
Cigar lounge, we're able to talk and just, really enjoy the time, smoke your cigar and just embrace the moments and share with one another. It's just a different experience. And we haven't sat back. Like my brother says, we have not sat back. We're not sitting back, honey. We're in this to win it. That's for sure.
But honestly, not in our defense, but the way I was taught is that you're in the factory, you work, you do the best you can, and try to produce the best products humanly possible. And for me, it was nonstop having people physically, seeing people, receiving people in Dominican Republic, or going to a big charity event like Cynthia mentioned. And it would be where I would hug sometimes 500, sometimes thousands of people. Give them a kiss on the cheek. And that was my form of communication. That was so powerful.
Very well
it
said.
meant so much to me that reaching out to people that I didn't see on the other end just with a phone call wasn't my way of communication. I was ingrained in my age in a certain way. It's hands-on, touch. It's not sending a letter or an open letter to everyone. It's going out, meeting, greet, touch the people, get to know them, know their names, know their family. And that's the relationship I built over many, many years. And perhaps the people who were not at those events, they didn't have access to me. Because when they were a lot of times big events, industry events, I was not there. I was in the factory, or I was doing another event for charity, or I was someplace else. But I was with people always. Because coming from my words, it's not about cigars, it's about the people. And it just was very, very difficult until I was forced into a situation where the only way to reach the people was through the social networks and so forth, which I'm very grateful for because I learned a lot.
This has been wonderful for us to be able to reach the people like this.
Yes.
And one of the
things
when
you're in the big smoke in Vegas with Cigar Aficionado, there's a couple thousand people coming in. And so you're shaking their hands and you're handing them a cigar, taking a photo, whatever it may be. But the opportunity to have a conversation is just a little segment. And we take advantage of it. My brother and I take advantage. But this is a different tool that we've also taken advantage of. So we feel grateful. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Jay, I feel like I've seen you every day this past year. I mean, and I haven't seen you in person in a while, but I do feel like Michy too. We're always in contact, and Calito, even though we haven't been in person a lot, but we're always communicating. That's a beautiful thing.
I think it's a rare privilege for people to get to know you. And I still remember I had met you, Carlito, but the first time I met Cynthia, I'll never forget it. And Cynthia, I've told you the story a dozen times. My wife and I were in Napa Valley at Brian Shinnick's house, and Cynthia and Christina came over, and we talked for probably 2 hours. And we had a great conversation. And I'll never forget when they walked away, my wife looks at me and she goes, "Wow, they are really wonderful people." And then she goes, "Is Cynthia involved in the cigar industry at all?" Because we never talked about cigars.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm like, well, yeah, yes, Cynthia, Cynthia Fuente. And she's like, "Oh, wow." She goes, "I'm surprised we didn't talk about cigars." And I said, those are the people that are running that company. It's more than just selling their product. They're real people. And she was blown away by you and Christina too. I mean, just wow.
Yeah. I remember that night. That was so beautiful. I think the word of your wife, and she just has such a charm. She's had such a beautiful heart. That was a great night. We're sitting in front of the fire, and we have the best conversation talking about family and the wines, and we never cigars or the foundation or nothing ever came up. You're smoking out nothing.
And she got excited this week.
An hour and a half, we were just there enjoying one another. But it's true. That's the beauty of it all. Like Calito always says, it's about the people. This is what brings us together.
Well, actually,
people.
And she got inspired by you.
I think that
and donated it.
Yes, I remember you told me that. Yeah,
I was shocked. I didn't even know. She didn't tell me about it. I came home. I'm like, "Oh, you have a nice haircut." She goes, "Oh, well, I wanted to donate some money. You've been talking about how Liana did that." I was like,
isn't
wow.
that beautiful? Wow, that is so special. So she donated her hair after that?
Yeah, just this last week. I didn't even know about it till after it happened.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just came home and she had her hair cut and it looked really nice and it was
that's beautiful. Wow,
she's like, beautiful. I decided to donate my hair, and I'd been talking about what Liana did earlier this year, and that inspired it, I believe.
Oh my God, that is fantastic.
Jay, I donated my mustache, but they refused it. So
he did. He shaved his mustache. I have the same goal. I'm reaching towards that goal too.
Hi, Carl.
We can help one person.
Cynthia, you never are more beautiful than when you had your hair short and like that. And I've been after you for years.
Yeah,
just a year again. The way we used to have it. Wow, Cynthia. The wild look, the wild time. Cynthia with her hair a little bit, with the
I always had
going
my
all
hair
the place.
super short. And then it started growing because we had a party. We did a Motown theme. So I had to get it a little bit long for my Motown theme. And then my son says, "I never seen your hair long. Let it grow." So I said, okay, something different. But now my goal is to let it grow and cut it so that I can donate it, at least help one person or two, and then go back short again. That's my goal.
I have something to show that Jose found
that
I absolutely had to have.
What? Let me see. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
What's that to me?
You look like
oh, Michy. Oh my gosh. Thank you. That's so sweet. Remember that, Calito?
If I remember that was one of the most classic, not classic.
That wasn't the tier ad.
Advertisements that had the biggest impact, biggest impact ever in the cigar industry. It was so out of the box. It was so sincere. It was so emotional, so personal. No one had ever done anything like that in the industry. Everything was always, the Rolls Royce or someone playing golf with a cigar, this and that. And you're there with tears. You're there with tears,
I love the pearl.
Thank you.
No, how about the gray? How about the gray?
That hit across the country.
No. But Cynthia, you know what? We should go back to what we started, what I always want to do. That contraction, that vitamin that I gave you that makes the gray go away forever, that you just drink one a week. We should give people our secret now with all the social media and everything. We should go and commercialize it because you're gray. There's no more gray in our family. You know that?
I'm gray. I'm 100% white.
I'm getting it. Yeah.
In my early 30s, I had a big old patch of white right there. And
That's
so
what
then
the picture shows a little
yes,
bit.
I had a big, I mean, and it was growing, it was big. So then after one day, my father says, Oye, ven pa acá. And he says, okay, you're beautiful anyway, but it's time for you to color your hair. And I said, really? I had never even
want
thought
to see
of
it
coloring my
again.
hair. I would have left it. Yeah, I was just like that.
Look how beautiful. Hey, not
few
for
years
anything.
ago.
Not for anything.
Aw.
But my sister,
Thank you, Michy.
with all her elegance, she always was dressed with so much elegance, with lace,
Thank you.
with pearls. She was like
The
my mom in that essence.
Thank you.
Always. But she was hot. She was the attraction to every gentleman in the cigar industry. Everybody wanted to get close to Cynthia. That was everybody's dream bride.
Yeah.
Everybody when Cynthia was single.
Oh,
in the old days.
gosh.
When we used to go to the old RTD.
There was very few women,
Hey.
but I was always
Question.
like Britt. What was his name?
So useful.
Hey, wait. From Boston. With the peanuts.
We've had a lot of characters in
No.
our industry too. A lot of characters, but
No,
thank
they
you.
all
Those
said-
were the good old days too.
Wait. Yeah, those were good days.
Thank you,
But
Michy.
Cynthia was
That was very nice.
everybody.
That
Listen,
was so
talking about everybody. So today I saw there was a post or yesterday on somebody that you were very close to, and I was also. One of Fred Zanabone's colleagues and his competition and best friend. You know, they were the two rivals in the industry. And I know you were very close to the family. The sons were both very good looking. One was a bachelor at one time. And Sal Fontana, the Fontana family. So Sal Fontana.
Absolutely.
Today it was Abe. Abe had a tribute to him and everything, and it brought back so many memories.
Oh my God, I love
your
Sal
very
Fontana.
early youth of kind of minds also and everything. And Sal was such a great guy, and that's what this industry is about. It's about remembering, never forget the people who were so responsible to leave us a legacy of what we want to do today, of correctness, of doing things with honor and passion. I mean, those were the old school, real patriots of the industry.
I remember
So when I talked about people kind of being in love or kind of friends and everything, I was totally against it. Because although Bobby, such a beautiful guy. What was the name? Bobby Fontana?
Yes.
Was it Bobby or was it brother? Okay, Bobby's good look. Well, there was two Fontana.
They were all good looking.
And
all of these kids. Yeah, one of them was my boyfriend. I'm trying to remember his name now, but what? Jimmy.
Okay, wait. I didn't know what's it?
Okay.
Well, there's Jimmy Fontana, Bobby Fontana. Okay.
There's a Bobby
Fontana and
everything.
But I try to do. Hey. Yes,
but Jimmy was when I had
and I didn't want that at all. I said, wait a minute. I know that there's a family that we love. They're our dear friends, but they can't get this close. We were like, I was like the brother, this is the Fuente family. We were no matter what, but they're great people. And I was so happy to see his
and the daughter,
come up and to remember him, his beautiful wife, and beautiful lady, Bonnie, yes, beautiful daughter.
Her and I, after the conventions, and we would stand on our feet, and there was no rugs in that day, on concrete floor. We would go to the hotel room and stick our feet in the bathtub and just sit there and talk. Bonnie Fontana. But I remember Max Flam. I used to work with Max Flam the whole week, and I spent the weekend with Sal Fontana and his family, all the kids. So I would enjoy them all, and we would go boating or go jumping off into the spring or the rivers. Oh man, a lot of good old days.
If there's anybody watching from the old days, and you mentioned Max Flam and you mentioned Sal Fontana and everything, man, you bring back memories. Max Flam, he was our sales manager for a while. Fred had hired him or whatever it was, Fred Zanaboni, and I used to joke around because he was like Boris Karloff from Max Flam. He was really cool. Good people. Yeah.
All of those bros were
so
classy and elegant. They were sharp men. I mean, with those three-piece suits and those hats and those leather shoes with the shoelaces, and I had the honor of working with all of them. This is going way back, as Michy and Shay don't even have a clue. We're our age here now, guys.
So it's lovely to hear this because it tells the other people, our audience, let's say, that how far back you guys go, how you started, and it just tells people more about the Fuentes, like how you started. You started from the bottom, now you're here. You know,
Absolutely.
Just
And
love
the beauty of it is that Calito and I have more fire inside of us for love for the industry and passion for the leaf and for the people. We feel so inspired. And I mean, I think every day I love it even more. How can I explain that?
well, the
That's a
industry
gift. That's a blessing.
You're like the Tom
I tell you,
Brady's.
I tell you,
Continuing to improve.
no.
Oh, thank you. Listen to you. Thank you.
No,
Look, Florida's preparing for the Bucks. Let me tell you, honey, Buccaneers, the Super Bowl. This town is going crazy.
But I tell you why. I tell you how things have changed. That why we're living the best time in the cigar industry. Because people like you, Michy, people like you, Jay, and so many others, that we're able to build a relationship that is so personal that it goes beyond cigars. And that's something that was very, very difficult in the old days. I mean, you could do it, but it was more in an isolated way because traveling took a long time. Visiting people took a long time. There were only once a year you got to saw different people. You build a relationship because it was over 30 years, 35 years, many, many years, goes back many times generational, and you get to know the people and everything, your colleagues, but it's a lot different. I think now we're living the best time. One of the things that social media for me, the highlights of the last year, is once I started following some of these programs, like with Abe, with Cigar Dojo, Coop, and others, a lot of times there were interviews of some of my colleagues, and I get to hear their stories and everything, and I go, my God, what a beautiful story. How they had gone through blood, sweat, and tears, and how they're so human, the same, how they all strive for practically the same principles and calls that try to make the best. And it's made me so much more comfortable, or to respect my colleagues, to understand that, really, we're all one, and we're all doing basically the same thing, trying to bring the best. And it's important for everyone to do well, for everyone to survive, and for everyone to prosper. Because if the pie keeps growing and we contribute to help the pie grow, and for all my colleagues and all the different companies and all the retailers to continue to do better, that they could have a decent livelihood, to feed their families, for employees to live well. I think that it's the best time of the world, and I think that we can make that happen if we work as one. And that's something that I think that social media has helped a lot. For me, it's helped me understand a lot of my colleagues who not that we had confrontations, but that maybe we were just on two sides of the world and everything, and but getting to hear their stories and know their pains and suffering and the love for their family. It humanizes them so much. It's just being another brand. I see the human aspect of it, and I think that what social media has really contributed to this year. My respect for all my colleagues, for all the smoke shops, and getting to meet a lot of people that I really didn't know before.
I agree 100%. It really has given us an opportunity, a different type of opportunity. I agree. To be able to see all the different manufacturers and everything, and we're all working towards the same goals, all of us. Everybody's working towards the same goals. Right?
Now, my question is
okay.
I have a question for Jay, because he's my star today.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
How are you? Oh my God, your hair looks fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I finally got it.
Congratulations. I heard that you donated it. I think that's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's great. I always ask for you.
You look fabulous.
Yes, I look forward to when we'll be able to share again in person in the Dominican sometime.
I know,
Absolutely.
that's what
Definitely
we
do.
do. We got to get down there again.
Yes, that was such a wonderful time. Jay and I were reminiscing on it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna put Daniel Caldwell in our suitcase because he wants to come too.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And David Wayne and Chet and
That whole
Oh,
group.
it's
we
all
got
our
April. We got a lot of people that are going to join us.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and
Me
make sure you always
Melanie?
bring a big empty suitcase. Always bring a big empty suitcase so you can
That's
take it back full.
for all
That's
your
Or
important.
a big full suitcase with your clothes, and then you can leave them for the kids. You
Yeah.
know, and come
Right.
back with just one outfit.
We're gonna max out Blue Jack Tart.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Right? Absolutely.
All right.
That sounds
Okay,
great.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Michy, please. Jay is a star. Ask him questions.
I wanted to ask, what was your inspiration behind the name Blue Smoke?
Well, I used to hang out at a small cigar store when I was a new smoker, and there was a guy there, Chris Sanders. He and I used to talk, and we would every once in a while you would see some blue smoke come off of the cigar, and he would be like, "Well, why is that?" And I said, "Honestly, I don't know. I know that from physics standpoint, that probably indicates that maybe it's a more pure form of smoke." And he joked, he's like, "Well, when you open your cigar shop, you should call it Blue Smoke." And I thought at that time, well, I'll just do Blue Smoke of Dallas. Maybe I'll have a number of stores. And after running a retail operation for a few years, I'm like, no, that's not me. I want one store and I know a lot of successful operators like Abe and Gary that have multiple stores, but part of Blue Smoke for me is me interacting with customers. And if I have two locations, I can't be both places. So I want customers to be able to come in and sit down and share with them. They get to benefit from you guys. When I go down to the Dominican or I go to Nicaragua, or I go to Napa Valley, I'm able to share stories and things that you share. Like I remember one night at Casa Fuente, I think it was me and Tony Kettengale and Manny Ariate, and Carlito for 2 hours, all he talked about was the importance of humidification. The only times I've repeated that story about the things that you shared and how important humidification is. And so it's a way for me to share the heart of cigar manufacturers and cigar people to my customers. And that's why we only have one store. But Blue Smoke originated from sometimes, and I don't know why, Carlito, you probably know, or Jose knows, sometimes you get smoke that comes off and it's not gray, it's blue. And my theory was, well, that just must mean it's like really good tobacco. I have no idea, though.
That's very interesting. I
It
didn't
is
know
blue.
that.
It
I
is blue.
appreciate that story.
Okay, well then
It is blue, and especially when you look at it in a silhouette. If you look in a silhouette and you see the smoke when it first immediately comes out, it starts out blue and then it goes into the grays and different colors. But definitely is blue. And the first time I heard the name, I knew exactly why, because real cigar smoke is pure. It's in its purest form.
And the other reason was that I'm kind of into Bible study, and blue in the Bible usually indicates peace and tranquility. And what do you get when you smoke a cigar? You get peace and you get tranquility. You get a break from the day. Because when people come through my door, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they had a tough day at work, or maybe they had a disagreement with their spouse, or just they're stressed, and they come in there and it's like Cheers. They want to just go where people know their name and they want to relax and just get a break from life. And to me, that's what the purpose of a brick and mortar is, that it's not just a place to buy a cigar. If you have time to sit down and enjoy it and relax and decompress.
That's beautifully said, and it's very true.
So Jay, what's up and coming with Blue Smoke? What's in the future?
Eventually I'd like to expand my humidor, but I don't know. Carlito and I have talked about a couple things that we can't discuss publicly, but I mean, really the goal is to just get better and better at what we do. Our current lease ends in about 9.5 years, and I would ultimately like to have a freestanding building. And my believing, although my children have not expressed an interest right now, is that there will come a time when maybe I slow down and they take over the store. At this point, they haven't indicated an interest, but you never know. I just want my children to do whatever they want to do in life.
Of course.
Believing that one of the three of them will want to take over the store someday when, I'm a little older and can't come to work.
What are their ages now?
Well, my oldest, Angela, who you've met, she's 33. and she and her husband have 5 wonderful children. They're busy.
That's
And then we took a break after that. Ella
and
is
you're so
15.
lucky.
Oh, very blessed. They are wonderful.
I remember meeting her. Yes.
And then every morning, after being up till 2 or 3 in the morning at Napa Valley drinking wine, she get up at 6 in the morning and run for 10 miles. I don't know how she does that.
Wow.
Well, she's young.
Yeah. And then Ella is 15. Ella is a sophomore in high school. She's doing school remotely this year. And Jameson is my son. And of course, being a dad, I hold him to the highest standards. And he's 12, and he's still homeschooled. And he's a lot of fun.
I remember that.
Great. Every one of my kids is so different and so wonderful, and very thankful. My older brother and my older sister never had children, so I know my older brother loves to come down and hang out with them, and we've been so blessed to be able to have children who are healthy, who are loving, kind individuals.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, if they never smoke, they never smoke. I didn't smoke till I was 40 years old, if you can believe that. So whatever they want to do in life, I want them to have. But
what was your first cigar? Do you remember? You said 40? You didn't start till you were 40?
I didn't start till I was 40. I had never smoked a cigarette, never had pot, nothing.
What made you start smoking cigars?
I was playing golf one day with my business partner, and we were like in the 5th or 6th hole, and she's like, hey, you know, the girl's coming with a cart. What do you think? You want to split a cigar? That was literally the conversation. Let's share a cigar. And I looked at her and said, why not? I just turned 40. Might as well try it. And then the next week I went to a local brick and mortar that I had driven by many times. And I told the guy kind of what I wanted. And he sold me a cigar. And then soon after that, my daughter Ella had been born. And my wife's like, you know, I really want you out of the house for a few hours. And I'm like, why? She goes, well, I want to breastfeed the baby. And I just want to go down to bed at 7 o'clock at night. She goes, why don't you go to that local cigar shop and hang out for 3 or 4 hours and come back and sleep when you get back. So, and then I started smoking more and more. And then one day, my Andrea, who very rarely swears, she looked at me and she goes, you know, you're kind of less of an asshole when you smoke. I think it's okay that you continue to smoke. And she never complained about me smoking cigars or spending money. And you know, when I decided to change careers, and I literally took a 90% pay cut to open the store. She never complained. And you know, your life changes. You know, you're not buying $25,000 watches. You're not going on 4 cruises a year. You're not driving fancy cars. All of a sudden, it was like, what do we need to get our needs met? And Andrea never complained. She's like, if this is going to have you be more happy and blessed, I'm all for it. And when the times are tough, she's there. In fact, I was a little overwhelmed during the event. From about 5 to 6, we were really busy. And Andrea brought up some cheesecakes for people. And she stayed and she was picking up cigars, ringing people.
She was a sport.
I was overwhelmed.
Well, of course, it's natural. I can imagine that you felt that way. But she's
whatever she can do. I mean,
that's beautiful.
When I had my heart attack, and worked the store for a couple of weeks until I was in good enough health to come back to work. And our attitude is we're together on anything and everything that we do. But I think a lot of it was Andrea was never like, oh, why did you start this disgusting habit or whatever. In fact, right now, I'm actually smoking in my bedroom because the kids are on the Xbox. And, you know, not many wives would let their husbands smoke in the house, in the bedroom, so they could do a Zoom call.
Very nice. Tell her.
We're very hard in between people, okay?
I'm spoiled.
Right? Yeah, because I can imagine it's cold outside.
Well, yeah, it's only 55 degrees, but
it's much more comfortable.
It's not really bad. It's what nice there, Michy.
Well, tell her thank you. See, that's wonderful to have a supportive woman right by your side.
Oh yeah, since day one. The only thing that negative came up is I really wanted to have a 4th child, and we had been open about 6 months. And my wife looked at me. She goes, "Blue Smoke's your last kid. Enjoy it, because we're not having any more kids while you have a business." And that was a very wise decision. I didn't want to hear it at first, but she's like, "You really are not going to have the bandwidth to help raise a new child and do the store. You're working too much." And, you know, we just make decisions like that. And she's never been anything other than a help and a blessing whenever the store's involved.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
And now you have 5 grandchildren to enjoy, so you still have a lot of kids around.
They need to stop having kids or be like the Brady Bunch pretty soon.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you can ever not have enough kids. Kids are the most beautiful.
And we're so spoiled. They
Blessed.
live 2.1 miles from us. So we get to see them 2 or 3 times a week.
That's fantastic.
That's a
Very
huge
nice.
blessing.
That is
Yes, absolutely.
very good. Well,
I just
that's
want to give a shout out to a few people that are currently watching. We have Daniel Caldwell. We have Ana Cuenca. Hi, Anna. I miss you, Anna.
Anna.
Amen.
We need to
We have
share some
Selma
wine.
watching.
Oh, hi, Anna. The best or nada.
The best or nada. I love watching
Hello,
Miguelito
Anita.
on Fridays. He
Anita, te
I do
cracks
queremos.
too. I do
and
too.
he makes my day with his little
Yes, I agree. I love watching them too.
They are an amazing couple. I actually met them at the Fuente
And
factory in Tampa a few years ago. Wonderful people.
And they've been to the Dominican too. I think like 2 or 3 times.
Big,
man.
huge
And they're
supporters.
great hosts. Whenever
Huge
Carlito's in Miami,
Supporters of
he
Cigar
always goes
family,
by.
giving back, big hearts.
Right? When you go to their store,
I
Beta,
have-
are you kidding me, honey? She opens a bottle of wine. Here's the cigars. What do you want?
Oh,
I'm the
yes.
host. Hospitality to the
I had
max.
the pleasure of going to her shop in December. We had a great time. Becca was there with us. We spent the whole day there. We drove from Miami back to Orlando that same night. We got home like at 5 in the morning. It
I
was
remember that. Are you
it
telling
was
me?
the best time. By the way, Jay, you used to do little videos and you stopped. We missed your little videos too.
Oh my God, that video that you shared recently from the Dominican trip
Oh,
was
yeah.
fabulous.
Well, I thank God I'm a shutterbug. Facebook makes that easy. But yeah, I did do some live videos.
I remember.
When we were shut down, I did. But that was a weird experience. There was about 6 weeks of my life where I sent my employees home because we weren't allowed to be open. And I'd go to work every day. And, you know, for 16 hours a day, I was unpacking shipments, shipping cigars, delivering them.
Oh,
That
you
was
were
actually
doing
one of the highlights of COVID. You know, it's one thing to meet a customer, but when you deliver cigars to a customer's home at 8 o'clock at night and you're talking for 10 or 15 minutes, and that was the only social contact that I had. I got to know a lot of my customers a lot better this year because they couldn't come to the store, so I came to them. And those are some long days, but like I said, it's one of those things where we came out of it, and I think it made us stronger and connected us with our customers.
That really shows how committed you are to your customers. That's really beautiful, Jay.
Well, I'm committed to feeding my children too.
No, but if you had to do it on your own, you did it because you were hungry, and that's why you were so successful during this whole pandemic.
I remember we had a customer. He called me up. I'm not making this up. It was my first day off. It was Easter Sunday. He calls me up and he's like, I really need some cigars. And I had to grab my brain for a second. And I said, well, we just finished setting up for dinner. I'm going to sit down and eat with my family. He goes, no problem. I said, tell you what, we're going to enjoy our dinner. When I'm done, I'll call you. And he goes, no problem. I'll make it worth your while. So we ate dinner. I called him and he's like, well, I need this, 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 and this. He goes, I'll make it worth your while. So I went down to the store, got his cigars, delivered them to his house, and he gave me a check. He bought over $1,000 worth of cigars. He said he felt so bad to bug me on Easter, but he really needed cigars. And that customer and he's gone from an occasional customer that went to a number of brick and mortars and he ordered online. He buys all of his cigars from us now because he's like, hey, he goes, I like the fact that you not only did you take care of me, but you put your family first. Because I said, look, we're going to have Easter dinner before I go anywhere. And that was just one of the things that
That's fantastic.
He wouldn't have experienced that.
Well, that's what the brick and mortars are all
That's what
about.
makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the brothers, I didn't have any of these pre-release. Johnny Salazar, a gentleman that bought a Prometheus humidor from us, he sent me a couple just as a thank you. I'm like, you paid me money. Why are you thanking me? But I didn't have one, and I wanted a pre-release of smoke for today. And he must have read my mind because he sent me two. I got them last week, and I said, I'm going to save them for the show.
It must be fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing. So Rich Golak did a good job on this.
Yeah, he did.
What is your favorite ring gauge, Jay? What ring gauge do you prefer?
Well, we talked about it today on the show. I I believe it's 6 1/4 by 44 or 46. The size of the ESG, it's what, ESG 24,
Okay.
but roughly about
24
6
salute.
1/4 by 44 or 46 is my favorite. I do enjoy a Lancero, but that's why I'm a big 858 fan. That, what is that, 49 ring gauge?
The 858s are wonderful.
No,
That's
it's actually 47 by 6.
Okay,
47
there you
by
go.
6.
So right around there in the
I
floor,
like that size too.
I've smoked everything in my humidor. So I've smoked 80s, and I even smoked that Romacraft that's 115 ring gauge. But for me,
No way.
a
What
customer
was that like?
said you've smoked everything in your humidor, and you've got 2 of these cigars that are 110 by 10.5. And I'm like, okay. So one day I smoked it. It took me like 8 hours. The amazing thing is the cigar tasted just like the Robusto, so they did a good job blending it. But my general go-to is anything from a 38 ring gauge to maybe a 50. Every once in a while, like I'll smoke a 52 Rosado, but I generally prefer smaller ring gauges. One exception is I like Casa Cuba and the Doble Cis best.
Right.
I know most people like the Doble Dos or the Trace, and I like those, but the Cis is my favorite. I like that in the larger ring gauge, and the same with Black Diamond. I don't know why, but those 2 cigars I like in the larger ring gauge. Most everything else I'm smoking Coronas, Lonsdales, Corona Gordas, and I smoke a lot of Robustos because in the store you get interrupted a lot, and you don't want to constantly have to relight the cigar. But when I'm at home and I've got more time, give me a Reserve de Chateau or a double Corona Opus X.
Right.
Wow.
Jose's going like this because that's his favorite too.
Really?
Maybe put me into it.
He's like, yes.
The best size.
Actually, given the time, I love a Hemingway masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
I have time. Like we would go to dinner and then go to Davidoff after, and I know I'm going to sit there for 3 hours. I would buy that masterpiece and smoke that and love every puff of it.
I love a long cigar. One of the cigars we have that is you guys make is the Diamond Crown #1, and customers will be like, "Who smokes this?"
Yeah.
And I say, "This is a Dallas Cowboy cigar," and they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Start the cigar. By the end of the cigar, they're going to blow the lead, and it'll be in the middle of the 4th quarter." And they always laugh, and they'll buy 2. But generally, if I'm at the store, shorter. Like my favorite Opus to smoke, like when I have them, is like a #4. I absolutely love that size. I think either add something to it. But yeah, generally the smaller ring gauges. I think that we all tend to start with a larger ring gauge. They smoke cooler, but you want that wrapper more and more. And like Hemingway Signature, oh wow, I've smoked so many of those. Or the Don Carlos #4 might be my favorite cigar.
Really?
Small.
I love it too. And the Don Carlos #3, that's my go-to. Another
3 and 4, yeah.
Many.
But every once in a while,
Wonderful.
I'll get a double Robusto. The Don Carlos double Robusto for me has a little extra white pepper, and every once in a while, I just crave that, and I'll go for that. But typically smaller ring gauges.
Okay. Very good.
Maybe Carlito can tell us why the Don Carlos double Robusto tends to have more spice, or is that a secret?
No, it's no. Well, everything's a secret. I'm never going to tell you the truth. So, no. But the smaller ring gauges are really they're compact. It's almost like the assignment inside a sports car. You're just going to get more concentration. You're going to get the tobacco, the taste, the core of the fillers and everything in relation with the wrapper. You're going to get it sooner. With the bigger ring gauge, you're able to get more balance, and you can add a little bit more proportions of tobacco, get more leaves, so you get a little bit more roundness and everything. So you're getting more of the filler, and then you get the spiciness and everything of the filler more than on a smaller cigar where you're going to probably have the bigger influence of the wrapper.
I like that sports car.
Which is the best answer I could give. Other than that, everything else is magic. The tobacco gods are responsible for what happens.
It's all Dominican tobacco. That's it, right?
Yes, with the camera, with the Dominican wrapper, Chateau de Fuente, which makes a big difference. I mean, on a Don Carlos is African Cameroon. The double Robusto on the Opus is Dominican wrapper, but they're two different blends.
I can't wait to get those Nicaraguas.
Someday, I can't wait either. Nobody's more anxious than I am. No one's more anxious.
I just got a message that came through from our friend Dallas that he sent me a picture of him with a cigar.
Oh, what a
Our
great
dear friend.
Yeah, he's good people.
Belén, 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 Belén.
Hey, I finally got to smoke a rare pink. I got to smoke a Happy Ending. That was an impressive cigar.
Okay.
I'm saving mine for Super Bowl
It's a very
Sunday.
special cigar. Unique blend. The wrapper's a little different, and you know, it comes from the Fuente kitchen, so it's going to have a Fuente personality. You know, it's what I like, what I hope that people like, because I got to like it first, thinking that people will like it. And it comes from the house of Fuente, but it's a little different. It's a little. I think it's got a combination. You can pick up nuances or similarity to other cigars that we have within the Fuente portfolio, but it's unique in a certain way. I love the shape too. The shape's going to add a little difference and dimension to it. It's just it's a beautiful shape, and it's got a little press to it, which I think I really like. It's not a complete square, but it's got box press to it and everything, which does affect the way the cigar smokes. So thank you, Jay. I'm happy you were able to enjoy it. I know that you made a lot of customers happy, but I'm glad you kept one for yourself. You deserve it. If anyone deserves it, you deserve it.
I know you shared
my employees, but that was
shared
it.
with some people.
Yeah, the first round we didn't even sell them. We shared it with people that have supported the foundation, and
right.
I felt good about that. You gave us so much with the Forbiddens and so many other things that you did. You probably had a very tired factory force at the end of the year because they made a lot of cigars the last couple months.
But no, those cigars have been made for a long time. They just worked around the clock to pack them. And my hats off to our Tampa crew, the team in Tampa, the shipping department, and everyone to make sure I was on the phone. Rich Dolak, of course, making sure. I mean, he says, how much more? I said, it was important for me. I mean, we were going to launch a lot of these cigars at the PCA for the brick and mortar. And with the pandemic, I said, no, we got it. You know, we were shut down for a couple of months. And the cigars were made. They were in the age when they wasn't making the cigars or anything. But in the end, when we got started back to make these boxes and put it together without a real marketing team or anything behind helping me, I mean, these things were done in-house. The oral, squirrel, everything was done in-house. We did everything. The pinks were designed and everything in-house. I mean, in the factory. Wow. So much so that no one in our sales team, not even no one in headquarters, including Liana, which was very, very important behind this project for me. You know, for years we've been promoting real men wear pink, you know, get photos with pink. And she did not know. I even was able to get her signature, put it on the band. I put her initial on the band. And this whole story and everything, what's pink about, what pink meant to me. And of course, I went back to my days as a teenager growing up in the 1960s where pink was prominent, you know, and pink. And it was time of revolution. You know, the flowers, the pink, Lucy in the Sky with diamonds, you know, people experimenting. And the part that I liked that it really rolled people's eyes back was the time where women removed their bras. But that's what I remember the most. It was the time of, listen, this is time to make a change. And I said, this, you know, women are so important to me. My daughter, my sister, my mother, my grandmother have been such a big part of who we are today that I wanted to pay tribute. Liana did not know. She literally cried. The box was supposed to be open when I got to Tampa.
I remember that
to cut her hair, and she opened the box not knowing because it was shipped to me. She opened it up and she called me crying. She couldn't believe that her initial was on there. She didn't even see her name because it's under the band. But it was a tribute to the women in my life, and this is something we're working on for years. But I remember telling Rich Dolak, Rich, you know, you got to get the cigars out. It's so important to me, the brick and mortar, the people have supported us for so many years. They've gone through the worst years of life. A lot of them are closed down. They're working on 25%, 50%. They're not able to open. They're doing, you know, curb service or whatever they could do. We got to help them. To me, Christmas is a very important time of the year. It's a time where I remember growing up, everybody waits for that Christmas Eve for your gifts. I wanted to surprise the brick and mortar and in some way contribute to their Christmas. And, you know, we just sent all these cigars out, and Rich Dolak says, I can't keep these people. They're working around the clock. We're already, even towards the end of the year, I said, you just keep shipping. You keep shipping until the last day. And so Tampa has a lot to do with, you know, headquarters and the whole Fuente human team to get these cigars out to retailers. Hopefully, we were able to bring a smile to people and warm their hearts, because that was the intention for this to be a way that we could say thank you to everyone. No one, the sales force did not know. Our salesmen didn't know what was going on. As a matter of fact, we didn't take orders for this. We just shipped the cigars. We shipped them with an invoice. That's not very usual in the industry. And I told Rich, like, if they don't want it, just ship them back. But there was quite a few cigars. Same thing with the Naked Kings and everything. There were cigars that were made before that we were going to introduce, as they're just sitting there. And I just did everything possible to get them out for the holidays.
It was
You did it.
amazing holiday.
Yeah.
We saved 2 of our boxes of the Forbiddens for the event, and people just went nuts. And we had to limit people to 2 or 3 so that everybody could have some. And it was those are just amazing cigars.
Yeah, they really are. I really believe. I love that cigar. It's an amazing cigar.
I do
The
too.
boxes were made for no cello. Originally, it was intended. It was going to be something for Europe. We started making these about 2 years ago. We only had one cigar maker per size. Started making them little by little because we could not ship them to the United States because of FDA. But when this pandemic came in, I made the conscious decision. In Europe, they were waiting for cigars. I said, I'm sorry. Jeremiah, I'm sorry. Fuente International, I'm sorry. I have an obligation to help the brick and mortar in the United States. These cigars are coming to the United States. They were intentionally made for Europe, and we made them little by little over years, and we were going to ship those to Europe. That's why they were no cello. And because of the pandemic and everything, I wanted to do something special, and they were all shipped to the United States. The only thing in Europe, they last a little longer. In the United States, they don't last too long.
And I've noticed so many people have shared amongst
such
one
a big
another.
market, you know?
People are sending them to one another.
Yes.
I've
It's
seen
a beautiful thing to see. We've seen a lot of that on social media.
Yes.
Everybody's sharing with one another. I haven't been able to receive the rare pinks, but I'm going to send you some, which is, I think, a beautiful example of what our community does.
Yes.
I worked last night, and one of my customers offered me his rare pink in the short story because I hadn't smoked that size. And I'm like, no, you only got 3. You just keep that. I said, they're going to come out again. But his heart was just to share with me. And I'm like, are you kidding? You paid for this cigar? I got plenty to smoke.
You're really good about that.
I've had so many people bless me. One of the guys that came down for the event was Lonnie David. And I got to smoke a Don Carlos Lancero that he'd sent me for Christmas.
Oh, my
5
God.
cigars. And I'm like, I never get to
nice.
smoke Don Carlos Lancero.
One of my top favorites. I love that. Oh, I love
What
the
cigar?
So I just wanted to take this opportunity also to give a shout out and to tell people, join the Cigar Rights of America, join Cigar Rights of the World, join the PCA, get in the movement, people, because we still have a lot to fight for. There is still so much that needs to be done. We're only scratching the surface.
Very good.
So please join Cigar Rights of the World, Cigar Rights of America, and the PCA. Please, it's very important. If you haven't, please do so. It's a simple, sign up. I know Cigar Rights of the World is free. Cigar Rights of America, you have a small amount, there's a small fee, but you
get great cigars with that.
You get cigars with it.
Yeah.
You're fighting for the industry,
for us, for independence, yes.
Business to support his family, for companies like Fuente to stay in business, support their families. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important to us is our family.
That's right.
And this is our passion. Because I put myself.
If there's anybody that's interested in becoming an ambassador for your city or your state for the Cigar Rights of the World, Reinhardt's very interested in knowing. So
yes.
We need ambassadors out there to spread the word, like you are, Michy.
Yes,
like
I already told him. I told him that I really would like to. Jose and I want to be ambassadors for New York. So
very good.
For as long as we stay here, right? Because you never know.
Well, I know why, because you might be for Florida. Well, Melanie and I are working on Florida.
So yeah,
yeah. So Reinhard developed that on Light 'em Up, and he's been doing such a great job. The Cigar Journal. So we really want to support them. So I appreciate that. And it's true, like every time you're on a cigar show or any opportunity you have, if you don't, like Rich said today on Meet the Professor, mention the cigar rights of America, mention the cigar rights of the world, because this is going to benefit each and every one of us. Just one letter out to your congressman is going to help. My phone just died. So
Yeah, and mention it to your friends. They don't have to be smokers.
yes.
You know, it's, people,
That's right.
there are people that are members of the NRA that don't own a gun. You know, it's about supporting people's right to liberty. You know, if
Exactly.
someone wants to drink cotton candy flavored vodka, well, God bless them. If they want to smoke a cigar, great. So there are probably a lot of people that don't smoke that would still support Cigar Rights of America because they believe in your individual right to enjoy an adult pastime.
And it is, it's an adult decision, and it's an adult pastime, and we have our rights.
Yes, I mean, it's like I was watching that documentary that Carlito, Berta, and all those.
Yes, right.
It escapes me right now.
The
But I was
one
watching
Johnson?
Hand rolled?
Hand rolled, yes. So I was
Hand rolled.
watching that, and someone said something that made absolute sense. There is no child that's gonna go and see a hand rolled cigar and say, "I want to smoke that." No,
Of course not. No.
So yeah, it's all
up, exactly.
It's all about fighting. You could also go to your local brick and mortars. I know a lot of them sell the CRA packs. You get a really nice variety of cigars.
Beautiful pack, beautiful cigars.
Limited. And all the cigars are awesome in that pack.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a free membership.
Yes.
Yeah, those are amazing. And I have to tip my hat to Carlito and to Pete Johnson. When the decision was made that they were all going to be distributed online, and I made a comment, it wasn't very edifying. I said, well, this doesn't really support brick and mortars. And Pete Johnson texted me, he's like, what's your phone number? And he called me, and then literally I hung up the phone with Pete, and Carlito sent me a message and said, hey, can we talk? And both of them said, hey, we want to support brick and mortars. Do you think brick and mortars would support the CRA cigars? So they went to the board, and they didn't have to do that. And I really appreciate Carlito and Pete doing that. And then a lot of people were able to sell them from the brick and mortars and get the word out that way. And, and I know that Robbie's heart was just to help and just get them out there and get money to pay the lawyers. But it was great to see that the way that they responded, the whole CRA board, they're just amazing individuals.
Oh, they are. And Robbie Levine did such a phenomenal job. I mean, he was phenomenal. He was on Meet the Professor, I think it was last week. And I feel that all the manufacturers stand behind the brick and mortars, and the brick and mortars are the most important things to us. The most important. Without the retailers, without you all selling and supporting us all the time. I mean, I couldn't imagine. They were talking earlier on Meet the Professor about the smoke shops. Like, we remember in the 70s, you would walk in, like the rug hadn't been vacuumed and the ashtrays hadn't been emptied out. And we were talking about all the old smoke shops. But today you go into a brick and mortar, you go into a cigar shop, a cigar lounge, they're state of the art. They're beautiful. I mean, you have
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just got really something from Ana Cuenca that kind of upset me. It says Florida is trying to pass a smoking ban.
Wow.
Florida?
She said, please tell everyone to sign the petition to please stop. She put a link in the on the thing for people to get in. It looks like Florida is trying to put in a smoking ban. I'm surprised.
Wow.
We'll look into that right after. Yes, okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Anna.
That stung me just now.
We need everybody's help, each and every person.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, I'm going to let you guys continue. And yes, I have my 94-year-old lady that's a block away. and I received numerous texts that her heater's not working, and this and that, and I'm like, oh my God, they're sending me. Anytime something happens, she calls me because I'm like right around the corner.
Aw.
I'm gonna go see, burn out another fire with my dear, beautiful 94-year-old friend. What?
So
Thank you for coming out. That's been a real blessing to see you.
yes.
Me too. I feel the same. I do too. Thank you, Michy, for everything you do for Casa Cuba Sunday. We love your shows and for everything you do for our beautiful industry. And Jay, you as well. Words cannot express.
In 2 weeks, we're gonna have for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
We're gonna have Delta
Yes.
on our show. Hopefully, Cynthia.
I would love to join you.
I'm gonna be enjoying a pink, and we're gonna we settled on rosé.
That's right, rosé. We're gonna pair it with rosé. And I have 2 pinks. It's an ongoing joke, and I'll share it really quick. So Calito, when he brought the box of the pinks, when Liana had done her color hair, and so he did the unveiling, it was beautiful. And we were just really trying to, get everything finalized. So I didn't even think about at the moment, give me some cigars, Calito. So they came into the warehouse and they left right away, went straight to the Newmans, and then we sent them out to all the brick and mortars. So I actually never had any at the warehouse. So then on the virtual cigar lounge, we were talking about it. I said, well, I haven't tried one yet, but I'm going to try one very soon because I haven't been to the Dominican. So Chet King sends me 2 pinks.
Oh,
okay, awesome. How beautiful is that? He is so adorable. And so he writes a little post-it. So I have 2 pinks. So I'm saving one for the Super Bowl, one for your next session of Casa Cuba Fuente. Casa Cuba Sunday. See, this is what I say, that how beautiful, how cigars are to be shared, and we all take care of one another.
Yes.
Yes. He says, Cynthia, your name is on the building. You own the joint and you haven't smoked one yet. And I go, it was just an oversight. It's okay. It's for, the customers and for the brick and mortar. So anyway, okay. Well, Jay, it was beautiful. And it was so nice to see Andrea as well. And Michy, my love to Jose, and then we'll see you soon, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Okay. Bye-bye.
So Jay, so I know we've gone over. This is the first time we've gone so much over.
Sorry.
I enjoy having you. You were so great. I know I had some other questions for you, but dude, we know who you are. The industry. If you don't know who Jay Davis is, get on there and get to know, because he is the guy to know. I love everything you do. I love what you did with the pinks, your first order. I thought that was the most beautiful thing a human being can do, because you support so many people, and giving back that way was amazing. And I'm very happy for you celebrating 10 years. And through COVID, you're still pushing through. You are awesome, Jay. And I am very, very happy to call you a brother, because that's exactly what you are to me. You are to my family. And I'm very grateful to have met you in person. That was probably one of the best days that Jose and I ever had over in New Hampshire.
Oh, at Twins, that was great.
We had such a great time. And I look forward to many, many more times.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank Jose. You two are so wonderful. And it's been an absolute privilege to be on the show. And wow, to have Carlito and Cynthia join us, that was icing on top of the cake.
Yeah. We're going to make it out there. We're going to have another Casa Cuba Sunday with you over there. So normally Jose likes to go around the store to show people who haven't made it. And your brother's on.
Oh,
it's a great show.
We should have put him on. He has some great stories to tell.
Well, we're going to make a part 2, possibly a part 3, because we have a lot. I know you have great stories to tell. You've been around for quite a long time, and your support to the CFCF and CRA, it's amazing.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great privilege to be on here, and I'm looking forward to I'll share this video and we'll get it to our customers as well.
Awesome. So you have yourself a great Sunday with your family, and we will see everyone soon. And the next Casa Cuba is going to be on Valentine's Day at 4 o'clock right here on Facebook Live with a special guest, Beta. And I look forward to that show very much as well.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Have a happy Casa Cuba Sunday.
I'm going to work in an hour, so I'm gonna go out and have a great time tonight with everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Oye, si va a llover, que llueva. Lo que no quiero es chin chin.